Legal terms. They're important, but often difficult to understand, especially real estate terms in the legal realm. Breach of trust, breaking a promise. Commingle, to mix money. Concealment, withholding information. Conversion, licensee's use or misuse of a client or customer's monies. Culpable negligence, failing to use care or attention to duties. Failure to account and deliver is failing to pay money to the person entitled to it. Fraud is intentional deceit resulting in damages. Material fact, that's relevant information. Misrepresentation is an untrue statement. Moral turpitude, that's conduct that is contrary to honesty and good morals. Crime of embezzlement, larceny, and robbery are examples. Filing the complaint. So someone's aggravated with you and they want to file a complaint against you. First thing is done, the complaint's filed. Then it's investigated. Report is sent to the probable cause panel. There's a formal complaint issued if probable cause is determined. There are several choices you can make. You can choose not to be heard. You can choose an informal or formal hearing, stipulation. Once that's determined, then a final order will be issued. If you do not agree with the final order, you can always ask for a judicial review. Anonymous complaints. DBPR may investigate anonymous complaints, or one made by a confidential informant provided the complaint is in writing and legally sufficient, the alleged violation is substantial, and the DBPR has reason to believe that the alleged violations are true. Summary suspension. That's if an investigation reveals the public's in danger. The DBPR or the commission may decide not to allow the licensee to continue to work during the disciplinary process. The DBPR secretary can issue a summary suspension, also called an emergency suspension. That shuts the licensee down immediately. Voluntary relinquishment for permanent revocation is used to avoid a disciplinary hearing. A licensee relinquishes the license in lieu of discipline. The appeal. Licensees may appeal the order. They have 30 days to file the appeal. It's filed with the DBPR and the district court. Licensee may request a stay of enforcement. That stops the enforcement of suspension or revocation in a final order pending appeal. To obtain a stay, the court issues a writ of supersedis. It supersedes the FREC order. The licensee continues to practice until the appeal is heard. Types of penalty, there's administrative, civil, and criminal. Civil and criminal penalties are issued by the court of law, and administrative penalties are issued by the commission. Administrative penalties that FREC may issue would be like a denial of application or refusal to renew, letter of reprimand or guidance, administrative fines up to $5,000 for each offense, suspension up to 10 years, revocation of a license, and probation while completing the terms of a penalty. The commission can also order you to attend additional education classes. Notice of noncompliance. That's issued for a first-time offense of a minor violation established by a rule. It does not result in economic or physical harm to a person. A licensee has 15 days to take corrective action. Failure to timely comply with the notice of noncompliance results in a citation or disciplinary proceedings. Citation. They're issued by DBPR or DRE for minor violations, not FREC. FREC does not issue citations. The licensee has 30 days to accept or reject the alleged violation. If there's no action, the case will be closed. Or the licensee can file a written objection within 30 days, and penalties run fines from $100 to $500. Administrative penalties that FREC may not issue: jail time and restitution to an injured party. Criminal penalties are issued in a court of law, and FREC must report criminal violations to the state's attorney's office. First-degree misdemeanor penalties for real estate, that's failing to provide accurate and current rental information for a fee. The penalty is a fine up to $1,000 and/or 1 year in jail. Second-degree misdemeanors are for criminal violations of FS 475, except for 3 third-degree felonies and 1 first-degree misdemeanor. For second-degree misdemeanors, the criminal fine is $500 and/or 60 days imprisonment, and is issued by a court of law. The 3 third-degree felonies: 1 is falsifying an application, 2 is unlicensed practice of real estate, and 3 is theft of a license exam. The fine is up to $5,000 per count, and it's referred to the state's attorney's office for prosecution. Civil penalties. Civil penalties are issued in a court of law. The Real Estate Recovery Fund is available for people damaged by the act of a licensee who are unable to collect a judgment. The Real Estate Recovery Fund is to compensate for monetary compensatory damages as a result of an act committed by a licensee. The person must have been an active licensee acting as a licensee. The plaintiff must have been awarded a judgment and have attempted to collect. And the claim must be made within 2 years of the act or discovery of the act, but a maximum of 4 years. There are monetary limits of claims. The maximum amount paid from the fund for one transaction, regardless of how many pieces of property are on that transaction or how many people are purchasing or selling, is $50,000 per transaction. Now, when it comes to a licensee that's really messing up out there, it's a monetary limit of $150,000 that will be paid out against one licensee. And the amount of the fund is funded by license fees and fines. An additional license fee is charged if the fund drops below $500,000. But if the fund reaches $1 million, the additional fee is dropped. Licensee's license is suspended upon payment of money from the fund. It's a mandatory suspension, and the license will not be reinstated until the fund is repaid plus interest. Now, a claim resulting from an EDO, conflicting demands, good faith doubt, handled a little bit differently by the Real Estate Recovery Fund. When a broker is sued for complying with an escrow disbursement order, the commission is authorized to reimburse the broker for the amount of the judgment against the broker up to $50,000. No disciplinary action will be taken against the broker. The broker must notify the commission of the court case and diligently defend it. FREC may reimburse the broker's reasonable attorney's fees and court cost. So which is a usual and customary request for real estate recovery by a customer, they're only going to get compensatory damages and only the amount that the court ordered. They're not going to get court costs, treble damages, interest, any of that. However, when it's a broker that's being sued for complying with an EDO, that's where FREC may reimburse the broker his attorney's fees and court costs. Individuals who cannot make a claim: spouse of the offending licensee, A licensee who acted as a single agent or transaction broker in the subject transaction. Claim filed against a licensee who was the owner of a property. Claim against a licensee who did not have a valid or current license. And they cannot make a claim against a brokerage entity. It either has to be a sales associate, broker associate, or broker. Revocation without prejudice. In the case where a license was issued through an error of the Commission or DBPR, if the license is later revoked, such actions will not be held against any later application for licensure. It's as if it didn't happen.